The time is now to architect a life of excellence. What will we do? Who will we become? We decide today. This is Learn, Do, Become Radio. Let's move onward and upward together.
Hello and welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. We are going to be jumping right into Julie Morgenstern's podcast today, but I just wanted to let you know this is one you will not want to miss. Julie Morgenstern is amazing, and as you learn about her skills in helping us to understand why we have clutter, why we hold on to things, and how we can actually get to the point we can let go of those things that are no longer serving us, oh my goodness, it's going to be a game changer. So enjoy the podcast and then stay on afterwards, and we'll show you how to apply what you're learning into your life. Thanks so much, and please be sure to visit us at learndobecome.com. All right, welcome, Julie, to Learn, Do, Become Radio. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us today.
It is my pleasure. It's really nice to talk to you. We've talked in the past, and it's really nice to have this conversation together.
Well, I was telling Julie how I talk about her literally every day. I'm always telling people about her book, Shed, about organizing from the inside out. I love your book, Never Check Email in the Morning. I'm one of your super fans, and I just love the way that you teach, how you inspire us to not only declutter our space, but to declutter our lives and our time and be able to really put our energy into what's most important. So today we're going to be diving deep into talking about what to do about stuff. But I would love, Julie, for you just to give us a little brief intro as far as what you do. I'd love you to just brag about yourself for a little bit, because I want our community to know seriously how privileged we are to have you here on the show today.
Well, thanks, April. It's hard to brag, but I'll state some of the facts, ma'am. So I've been a professional organizer and a time management coach for over a quarter of a decade, like over 25 years, actually. And I'm really as excited about it today as I was then, because it is a privilege to help people. The way I see my work is helping tame the chaos in people's lives so that they are free to make their unique contribution.
Yes.
And that has been my mission since I started the business. It's my mission. Anything I do, I think for me the most exciting thing about being on Earth is that every individual is so unique. Like, each one of us has our own unique skills and talents and interests and experiences that together enable us to make a very unique contribution to friends, to family, to work, to our neighborhoods. And disorganization is an obstacle to that, right? You can't put your keys, you can't get past the pedal, you can't put on the outfit you want, you can't invite people into your house because you want to be. And so my job, the mission is to remove those obstacles so you can make your unique contribution. I've been doing it for 26 years. It is an honor and a thrill, and I'm really happy to, dive deep on some of the topics with you today.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let's just go ahead. I love how you started with this beautiful vision, because it's not about having a clean, organized house so that people think that you look good or so that you can put out this appearance that everything's going well when it's not. I mean, obviously there's something much deeper, but I love how you're emphasizing you have this purpose, you have skills, you have abilities, you have relationships that need you, and we're just trying to help get you there so that we can take away this stuff. So as we talk about stuff, though, the number one question is what I kind of want to start with today is people always say, how do I decide what to keep and what to throw away? And I know it's kind of a hard question because they could be talking about toys, clothes, paperwork. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So I thought maybe we could just start out by talking about the principles. When someone comes to you and says, Julie, what do I keep? What do I throw away? Maybe can you talk about the big principles that help support this process of getting that clutter out?
Yes. So, first of all, I think the most important thing for everybody to absorb and consider is to understand the difference between organizing and decluttering. Okay. Too often people think of them as the same, and they are completely different processes with completely different purposes, and we do them at different points in our lives. So organizing is about identifying what is important to you and creating a system that gives you access to what you use and love. Exactly where you are. It's a system that supports your functioning where you are. So you know you need to get organized if you know what you want, you know where you're going, but you can't get it together to do that. It's like the vision, the goal is clear, but the path is so chaotic because you can't find stuff, or your day is not reflecting your goals, and your goals are clear. Decluttering is about identifying what is obsolete in your life.
Oh, I love that.
And releasing it to make room to move forward.
Okay.
It's a catalyst for change and getting unstuck. Not getting unstuck and being disorganized, but getting unstuck in your life. So life is really, for all of us, it's a series of transitions, right? Like every big transition, you go to kindergarten is a big transition, right? And then from kindergarten to first grade, we're actually learning something. And then sixth grade to seventh grade, or, you get married, you have kids, you have another kid. Each big life change, something has to shift. And what happens is if we hold on to our old systems and our old everything, there's no space for the new. And you can feel that you need to shed versus how do you know the difference? I think that when you need to get organized, you know where you're going, but you can't figure out how to get there. When you're in a shed state, you don't know where you're going, but where you are is not it.
Okay. I've got to pause right there because that was brilliant. I love that you used the word obsolete, because I think that's a word that a lot of us are afraid of, because you think, for example, I had a baby swing. Our fourth child was 2 years old, had a baby swing that was broken, and I knew I wasn't going to have any more children. Okay, that baby swing, obsolete in my life, right? Broken baby swing, I'm not having any more children. There is no need for that to be sitting in my attic. It's not necessary. But I felt like crying as I took it out to throw it away, because I felt like, but I'm not going to have babies anymore. I'm passing this transitional time in my life and all these memories associated with it. And what if maybe I don't know, like you kind of start thinking in your mind, I can't part with that thing. And so many times, once I got rid of it, it was totally fine. Like, I get another baby swing if I really needed one. It's not a big deal, but it's that process. So, I mean, I'm sure you see this all the time.
Yes. So you hit the nail on the head. Clutter. Most people consider clutter junk, right? Get rid of that junk. That swing is just junk. Those piles are just junk. Those clothes you haven't worn in 20 years are just junk. That's the sort of common vernacular.
Yeah.
Don't think clutter is ever junk. Clutter, the obsolete stuff that we are hanging on to, that we are like, it's still there and it's hard to get rid of, whatever it is, it represents an attachment we are struggling to release.
Yes.
And so it's actually, to me, clutter is a point of entry into a belief system, an attachment, some amazing knowledge about yourself. Yeah. And if you actually embrace it, you go, wow, that's not junk, that's a point of entry. What does this stuff symbolize to me? It's like a direct path into your psyche that then it's a gift, like, oh, this is what I'm struggling with, or this is the feeling, or this. So what do I do with that? And once you use the clutter to get inside, you're like, oh.
I love it. Okay, I have one more example, because my mom has Alzheimer's, and she's in that last stage. So she doesn't know who I am anymore. She can't talk. She's like struggling to eat. It's like that hard stage. So everything that she has ever given me, I'm like holding on to it, right? Because like that makeup bag that's super old and gross, but she gave it to me. That purse that I'm never going to use, that card. I mean, anything that has her handwriting, like I find like I'm just holding on to it, but I love thinking of it as this point of entry to being able to be like at peace with this process of life and transition and celebration. And I would love to hear just what your ideas are to how people can hold on to the beautiful memories, like the beautiful memories I had with my babies in those swings, or the beautiful memories with my mom, or beautiful memories working with a company that you really loved and now you've left, or whatever it is. But what do you recommend people do? Because I love that you're looking at it as this point of entry and going into something new. But I think so many times we're like, well, I don't want to let go of all the beautiful beauty that was there.
Right. So you don't need to ever let go of the beauty that was there, ever. So let me give you, an example with your mom, right? And it's that your mom is, that state, it's like, sometimes you're dealing with people who are dealing with things from someone who has passed.
Totally, yeah.
Right? And here you're dealing with your mom and she's in this terrible state. But one question is, when you are looking at all the things that you have from your mother, is to ask of each thing, does this represent the best? Is this the best memory I have of my mother?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So you need the best memories.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need all of the touch points. Best.
Yes.
These are the best. I once asked a client who I was walking through their home, and she had all this stuff, all this clutter, and same question. I don't know what to keep and what to get rid of. And as I was asking her about things, there was this dresser in her hall, and I said, what is this? And she said, oh, that's a dresser that I got from my parents' house. And I could just see her whole body kind of not thinking about her parents, thinking about the dresser.
Yes.
The dresser, like, so it wasn't like, oh, this is a dresser that I got from my parents and I used to climb on it when I was a kid. There was none of that. It was like, oh, it's from my parents' house and I just can't
get rid of it.
And I said, well, is this the best representation of your connection to your parents? And she said, oh, God, no, they hated this thing. And I was like, okay. Like, she answered her. She was like, and I was like, don't hang on to things that are not the best representation of your connection. Not every representation of your connection, the best. Because the truth is, we only need those things that really energize us.
Yes. I love that.
Energizes you, and you're not going to get rid of everything. Like that makeup bag, I'm sure, is not the thing that when you look at it, it energizes you, and you're like, oh, Mom. It's like, it actually deflates you when you look at it.
Yes. Well, and what you just said actually gave me an idea because, Clinique was my mom's favorite. And she'd always buy their little special so she could get the free makeup bag. And that's what she would give us, whatever she bought. And she has 6 daughters. So we'd all get these makeup bags. And she used to replenish them, right? Like give them to us every year or so. And this one hasn't been replenished for 7 years or more. That's the problem. So I just had an idea. What if I went and got makeup bags for all of my sisters? New ones, in honor of my mom. That way I could get rid of that old one, but kind of keep the tradition going. And that would spark joy because I would be excited to be like, oh, look at my new makeup bag. That's what Mom would have bought for me, right? Is that on the right track?
Yeah, that sounds amazing because that's what that thing represents to you is the loss of that tradition as your mom is fading.
Yeah.
And so when that's the point of entry. It's like, oh, that's what that represents. Well, what can I do with that loss? I can let it go, or I can actually bring it forward.
Yeah.
And what a great way to honor your mom. She'd love that.
She'd be super happy about that.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe the grandkids will, maybe this becomes a thing for the next generations is the Clinique bags.
I love that. Super cute. Okay.
So that's the idea. So you have to do it one by one, April. There's for listeners who are listening, there's no generic answer because it's personal.
Yeah.
You have to ask. I'll give you an example of my own.
Okay.
When my daughter graduated high school, I was a single mom for, since she was 3. Very close to my daughter. I created this home that was just like the home that we need. We had everything we needed, you know. It was just great. I was able to create a wonderful home for the two of us. Then she graduated high school and she left. And I decided to move into Manhattan, into the city. That was a big, tough decision.
Huge, yeah.
And two parts. I'm going to actually add one piece to this. So one thing, I was afraid to get rid of the entire apartment because that represented the life that I created. And I asked my daughter, I said, you know, or how would you feel if I move and your home that you grew up in is no longer there? And she said to me, doesn't matter. Home is what we have between us.
Oh.
That's so cool.
That is amazing.
It's an amazing thought.
Oh my gosh.
And the truth is, if you think about it, you can just apply that. It's home is what you have between people.
Yes.
Nothing to do with the things. The things sort of express it in the moment and create the environment for that home connection to develop. But that's just the environment that
enables. Oh my gosh. I love that. And what a testament to you, like, of what you did build. Because you know that you didn't just build a living room and a bedroom and gave her a nice bathroom. I mean, there's a lot of parents who do that, and that's what they think is parenthood and family, right? Just give them the stuff, make it look like Pottery Barn, and you're good to go. But what you're doing is saying, you know, what we created, this environment I created, was so we could build that relationship, so we could build that home. And that lesson wasn't lost on your daughter, obviously, that she felt that. And I think that that's a human thing. Like, you can feel that when your family loves you and cares about you and you have someone you can depend on. I mean, beautiful. And I think you're right. Like, that applies to business partnerships. It applies to, you know, friends, neighbors. I mean, we just moved from one community to another, and so we left a lot of really good friends and people we loved. And I love that thought, that the relationship and the home and the feeling, you don't have to say goodbye to that. Like the things don't represent, I mean, they represent it, but they are not it, I guess. That's
right. They are not it. So yeah, I think that's very freeing, and you can sort of apply it like wherever you go. And your home that you create is just the environment for you to be you, right? So
okay.
I said there were two parts, or should I move?
Yeah,
on?
No, keep going.
Give me the other part.
That's great. Yeah, tell me.
This was the real thing I was going to say.
Okay.
On the way to that story, I remembered that middle part, so I thought I'd throw it in. So as I was deciding what to keep and get rid of to move to my new place, I actually have my own team of organizers helping me pack and, you know, purge and all that stuff. And I was really good at most of the decisions. I thought it through. I applied my SHED principles, which we'll get into a little bit more in a minute. But I got to this cabinet in my kitchen that had cookbooks. I couldn't decide which to keep and which to get rid of, and everything else, the cookware, everything. I was, keep this, get rid of that, keep this, get rid of that. Got to the cookbooks, couldn't decide. I was just like, and I just kind of stuck. So my organizer, Ron, who was with me, who knows the process and the principles, he was like, what do those represent to you? He asked that simple question. And I thought about it, and I was like, wow. Those cookbooks, what I left out is I never cooked.
Okay.
That was what was so ironic about it. Like, I never cooked. I raised my daughter on takeout.
Okay.
When I got divorced and I was running my business, I just cut cooking.
Something had to go, right.
Something had to go. So I had a cabinet of cookbooks. I never cooked, and I could not decide what to do with them. So he said, what do they represent? And I said, those cookbooks represent the kind of mom I had hoped to be.
Oh.
And I had really hoped to be my mom was a working mom, and I made my own lunch, and she was not the kind of mom who cooked. And so when I had my daughter, I wanted to be the kind of mom that she'd come home to the aroma of her favorite pasta sauce, bring all her friends over. They'd be talking about mussel marinara for years.
Yes. Oh.
That was my goal. And time flies, and all of a sudden she's out the door, and I never became that mom.
Yeah.
So once I was able to identify what I was like, wow, that's why it's so hard to get rid of, because it's letting go of that goal. It's surrendering. I never made it to that. But I then asked myself, so what kind of good mom was I?
Oh, I love that question.
And it was just sort of the natural, like I wasn't that was the good mom I tried to be. What was the kind of good mom I was? And I was I was home every night. I read to my daughter before she went to sleep every single night. I was there. I was not actually in the kitchen cooking, but I was hanging out with her while she was doing her homework. And so I was able to, so that is why clutter is not junk. It is a point of entry to understand something that's sometimes hard to articulate. And then when you can articulate it, you can move through it. And then I was like, oh, I can let go of those because, yeah, it wasn't that, but I was this kind of good mom. And you know what? That was another kind of good mom. It was a good mom. It's fine.
That is beautiful. Okay, so let's talk more. Let's go into more of that psychology. I want to really dive a little deeper into what you teach in Shed specifically, because I hear the word hoarder a lot. And people, when they say the word hoarder, they're almost like afraid to even say the word. They're like, do I want to call myself that? You know, because it kind of has a negative connotation. You think of the TV show Hoarders, and where you're just like, wow, it's just trash everywhere, and, you know, insects and animals. And I mean, so people can see something like that and think, okay, we've kind of made this a spectacle. We've kind of made it our entertainment to watch people suffering, which I think is really sad. But I think what happens is then we start looking into ourselves and saying, okay, well, am I a hoarder? And where is that line? And if I am, why? And how do I get out? And there's really no one to ever explain it to you. So when you're in elementary school, junior high school, you know, you're growing up, no one's ever sitting there saying, okay, let's talk about clutter. Let's talk about how to manage things. Let's talk about emotional attachment. Let's talk about how we use our stuff to maybe create a safety nest around us. Like, people don't talk about that. And so then you end up grown up in your own house, saving everything, going through divorces or challenges with a suicidal child or depression, or, I mean, all these things that start going on. And then you don't even know how you ended up there, but then you just think it's your fault. This is what I hear from people literally every day. So what would you say to someone who, as they're listening, they're like looking around at their stuff and they're thinking, am I broken? Is something wrong with me? Do I need to hide? Should I be ashamed? How can I get out? Is it possible to get out? Like, what would you say? I know it's kind of a big question.
Yeah.
What would you say? I know you have the answers.
So a couple of different things. I do believe the first thing, anybody who's like looking around and wondering this about themselves, just erase the fact that you are surrounded by junk. All clutter represents an attachment you are struggling to release. Understanding what that is going to be the one key step, not the only step, but it's sort of it opens the door to start processing it. And you have to look at it with kindness and gentleness. Yeah. Get the criticism out. Nobody does anything. Really, I mean, all behavior has a positive goal, has a positive intention. So let me just throw a few common things that clutter can represent. And sometimes it's the objects, by the way. Sometimes it's the specific things that represent something. And sometimes it's the volume of stuff. So it's it's not the individual items, it's getting attached to this volume of stuff, a sense of abundance.
Yes. Okay.
Or a sense of insulation, as you sort of said. So it's not like I can't get rid of the Q-tips. It's that, the 20 boxes of Q-tips that I bought on sale at whatever. It's that, this either creates a bit of a sort of safety, like it's a retreat for me, and I have a need to retreat, so the clutter is doing that, right? But if that's what it represents, then just identify, I have a need to retreat. And why not retreat into a beautiful environment? Just keep your door closed. You get to say you can't come in. You're a grown-up right now, right?
Yes.
So when you're a kid, you can't. Yeah. Sometimes as a kid, you can't keep the door locked, so you create a wall around yourself, right?
Yeah.
So, Okay, so that's what it represents. Or sometimes it's the abundance, which is very often when we grow up feeling a sense of deprivation of anything, attention, money, food, like tangible or intangible things, having enough, more than enough.
Yeah.
What the clutter represents is the need to have enough or more than enough, right? So, and then sometimes it's the object. Sometimes it's companionship. These are
Okay.
is company.
The clutter is company?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I hadn't even thought about that before.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's your stuff, and you can interact with it, and you have to organize it, you have to arrange it, you have to solve it. It's a distraction, but it's company. It's like you're not alone.
Okay. Okay. No, that's so helpful.
We talked about kind of unfulfilled goals. My experience was an
Yeah.
example of that. I've had clients who have piles of cards and thank you cards that have been there for years, and it's like I meant to write those thank you notes, and I can't get rid of that because that means I'm never going to have done that.
Yes.
Very hard, right? So maybe you let that go and you find a completely different way of acknowledging your friends. I'm going to have a party for all my friends, or I'm going to take each of my friends that I never sent a thank you to 2 years ago for my birthday party. I'm going to take them to breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm going to take each one-on-one and say, I'm so bad with cards, but I want you to know how much I care about you. Right? So that's, here's another one I think is very big, is that the clutter can represent a part of yourself that you have put on hold.
Okay. Yes. All right. Tell me more about this one.
So I'll give you a very specific example. I worked with a client. I coached her at work, time management, her and her team in this big corporation. And then one went in and they told me she was let go that morning. She walked in at 9 o'clock and was out the door at 9:15. And this was in the economy bust when they were like cutting heads from the top. And
Yes.
very traumatizing. She was a great leader. I called her. I told her assistant, if she will talk to me, I'm on site at the corporation. I'd love to talk to her. So I talked to her, and she said, I had this feeling, Julie, that I never would have left this job, but there's a part of me that feels like I've always wanted to get out of this, but I never did. So that feeling we have, there's a silver lining, but not the choice we would have made.
Yes.
Change was forced upon her. So I had her go through her house and identify everything that was stagnant. I said, go through with a Post-it pad, and I want you to just mark every part of your home that has got stuff that is stagnant. That's where what appears to be clutter is, right? It's piles of things you're not actually using, you're not going in and out of, they're just So she went and did that. And then we got back on the phone, and so what was stagnant? So here what was stagnant. In her, she had in her pantry closet, at the top of the closet was a sewing machine from her grandmother that had been sitting there for about 20 years. There was her dog who had died, all his toys and stuff like that. That was, all can relate to
So sad. Yeah.
In her walk-in closet, she said that a whole side of her closet was stagnant, and it was all the colorful clothes. And all the clothes she'd been using were the neutral corporate beige, black, white, brown. And a whole wall, like 2 sides of her closet, she had not gone into in years. Now, the sensational wisdom of TV that says, if you haven't used it in 2 years, it's junk, get rid of it. That's not necessarily true. In this case, the pattern, except for the dog stuff, which was its own category,
Right.
It was the creative side of her that had been on hold for years. She widgeted herself into the corporate, straight life.
Yes.
So we actually got rid of the beige, brown, white.
So she'd been using.
Reactivated the colorful wardrobe. We pulled down the sewing machine, And everything that was stagnant was the creative side of her that she had on hold. And 2 years, she lost weight. She lost like 50 pounds, like naturally. She started her own business within 2 years.
I love it.
So that's what I mean by clutter can represent a part of yourself that you've put on hold.
Yes.
And so that's why you don't automatically say, if I haven't used it, I should get rid of it. No. Think this other way. What does it represent? I had another client who did that with her junk room, and it was, I have a new book coming out for families, by the way.
Yay! Okay, I want to be on your book launch team. Let me know.
Yeah. Okay, good. We'll do something. But, there's a story that I tell there about a woman who, in her junk room after her kids flew the nest, she hadn't gone in there for years, and buried underneath were bolts of fabric and textiles, and she was a textile artist and had put that on hold for about 25 years while she raised her kids. And we just unearthed it like a phoenix and created that thing. So that's what clutter can represent. So that's the first step. Be gentle. So be kind and ask the question, what does this represent? Step one. It just changes the game. And then once you do that, you can start, first of all, you're kinder, you get it, you understand, right? And then I think to really shed, there's a couple things that are really important for people to remember. So I think I helped answer the question.
Yeah, that was awesome.
What's obsolete? Obsolete is stagnant, or start with what is stagnant and then figure out what it is. Either restore it or replace it with something less cluttery that solves the problem. So when you shed, I think the other thing that's probably the second most important thing for people to keep in mind is no one lets go into a vacuum.
Okay, all right. Tell us more about this. I love that.
So no one lets go of anything. None of us lets go of anything without reaching for something else.
Okay.
Right? So if you have stuff in your space, in your closets, clutter, what we've decided is, clutter that is obsolete and you feel you want to get rid of it, whether it's the volume or the specific stuff, you can't get rid of it unless you're reaching for something else. So ask yourself, what are you making space for? And it's usually, when it comes to clutter, not more objects. It's an experience. You're making room for a different experience to express a different part of yourself or experience an aspect of life that you've not yet had a chance to experience. So you want to identify what that is. And I call that like I think the way to think of it is like, what's the theme? Not that I don't know whether I'm going to go to grad school or whether I'm start a business or whether I'm going to
like online learning or something.
I don't know what I'm specifically going to do, but the next chapter is about me. It's about my creativity, or it's about my personal power, my fierceness.
I love that.
Next chapter is about being fierce.
So
or next chapter is about creativity. Or next chapter is about true fulfillment.
Yeah.
Or next chapter is about building security, like long-term security. Because sometimes clutter is like momentary satisfaction. It fulfills you in the moment, but in the long term leaves you with nothing in your bank account, for example.
Yes.
Right? So that's short-term gratification. So let's say the last chapter was about short-term gratification, and good for you, you needed it. Don't judge it. There's a reason why you needed it. It's not bad. It was satisfying, something you needed. But if that's no longer working for you and you feel burdened by that rather than fulfilled by that, you're ready to shed.
Yes.
And maybe your new chapter is about lasting fulfillment rather than short-term or long-term security. So you see, and if you can name a theme, which is a broad feeling or experience that excites you, then you can start letting go, and it's like
it's easier.
So much easier.
So much easier.
Making room for that.
Okay, so let's talk about next steps for people who have been listening who are just as inspired as I am. Because seriously, I mean, you know your stuff, Julie. You worked with, I mean, how many people would you say you've worked with?
Oh my God. I mean, individually and then in groups. Like when I speak to groups, I've spoken to thousands, tens of thousands of people on a coaching basis. I don't know, 1,500 people, 2,000.
Then with your books and your TV appearances, I mean, millions of people. You have millions of people have been impacted by you, and it's clear why, because you know your stuff. You're compassionate. You help people move forward, and you help them understand the why. You're not just giving them the how and say, okay, go throw that away and go make your room look like this. You're actually showing them, let's look at the root cause of what's going on and let's heal that. And then you're going to be able to see these beautiful benefits. So obviously, Shed is, I think, an amazing book. Well, all your books are awesome. You can just go Google Julie Morgenstern or go on Amazon.com or just your website, juliemorgenstern.com. Is that right? But then what would you say is someone's like next step? I mean, read the book or do the little Post-it thing and find out what's stagnant, or like what would you give someone as like something they could do today, 10 minutes, to just start the process?
Okay. I would say probably getting the book and reading the first like 5 chapters, which give you broad principles, is really the best thing to do. Because if I give you one Band-Aid, one step, you'll do it, but you don't have the context of the process. And what I believe about decluttering that most people miss, right? And I do think that through my work and in the book, it sort of reflects that, is that the getting rid of stuff is not the primary. There's things you do before you get rid of it and things you do after you get rid of it, so that this whole process is nourishing and nurturing and effective.
Yes.
Any one step is just in isolation. But so I would say get the book and just read the first 5 chapters. You don't have to read the whole thing. Read the first 5 chapters. That's all you need for the foundation. Then you know what to do. And the rest of the book is, depending on what you're decluttering, you go in and zoom in on, is it stuff? Is it papers? Is it schedule? Is it habits? What am I decluttering? Okay. I'd say that's the first step. Just go and read and be, and just walk around with this concept of point of entry. Am I attached to the volume, or am I attached to the particular things? And just try to be kind to yourself. Just change. That alone would be a much better week, I am sure.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Julie. I so appreciate you. You've had such an impact on my life, and I'm excited to continue sharing your message. So thank you so much.
Thank you, April. Good best to all your listeners.
Thank you. I hope that you loved what you learned today at Learn, Do, Become Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. Isn't Julie amazing? And if you want to learn how to more fully apply what Julie talked about today, I wanted to share what we have for you here at Learn, Do, Become to help you to be able to not only get rid of your clutter, but be able to have total mental clarity, peace, order in your emails, digital files, papers, house, how all of it can actually be really organized and clear. Now, at Learn, Do, Become, we have a program called Steps to Everyday Productivity. It's our STEP program. If you're already in the program, I want you actually logging in, going through the modules, and getting your Command Central set up, because it's going to make such a difference in your life. Now, if you're not in the program yet, we have an introductory webinar that you can register for at learndobecome.com/step. Now, we had a comment posted publicly on our website that really touched the hearts of everyone on our team, and I just wanted to read it to you so you can hear the words of someone who has just gone through the program. And this particular person has been struggling with hoarding, gathering, keeping things for a long time. So here's what it says. Saying you changed my life sounds overdramatic, doesn't it? LOL. But you did. I have been married for 15 years, and my husband and I love each other very much. But I am a hoarder. Have been as long as I can remember. It has been a strain on our marriage, and even though I knew I needed to do something, nothing helped me. Not therapy or more money or more family support. I had given up on my husband ever being able to invite his family over without being embarrassed. I don't know how your system of filing papers changed my way of thinking. I don't know how that one clean desk turned into doing the dishes or emptying the trash or opening the dreaded bill envelopes and being able to sit down with my husband to create a budget. My son has never had friends come over. We aren't quite there yet, but I can see it in the future. I don't know exactly why your STEP program helped me change the way I see things. The biggest change has been my relationship with my husband. As I am overcoming my hoarding tendencies, I feel more equal, like I'm finally becoming more of a helper and partner instead of a hindrance or embarrassment. There is less stress in the house, and I feel closer to my husband and son. I feel like I was drowning in my own chaos, and you helped me see the simplicity in things. I told you this would sound overdramatic. In 1,000 small ways you will never know, you made me a better person. And it all started when you told me my first homework assignment was to clear off a space. I felt I could trust you, so I did. Now I'm guessing you can imagine how that totally warms my heart and gives me such joy and hope for those who are in our program. I know that the process works as we help you to be able to apply principles of organization from a variety of teachers that I've studied under, to be able to create a very simple, we call it your command central, that handles all your projects and tasks and ideas, all the things that are on your plate. Now, inside our program, we have a variety of people. We have some people who are CEOs of companies and they're running teams. We have people who are real estate agents, school teachers, pediatricians, homeschooling families. We have a wide variety of people who are finding that the principles that we talk about in the program actually work across pretty much every industry, every profession, and every stage of life. So when you come to our introductory webinar at learndobecome.com/step, or if you're already in the program, I just want you to know there is absolute hope. And getting these systems in place will support you as you're moving forward, reaching the goals that you're so excited to achieve. So thank you guys so much for being with us. It just means so much to be able to be part of this community. And we will see you next time on our next episode. Take care, and we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.